Okay.
Going with question 2 from Jay. My band, All Hail Hyena, are gaining some nice steady interest, and we're sitting on loads of brand new unreleased tracks and videos. We want to know if you'd present this as a package to a decent indie label or go for it ourselves.
Great question. And so if there are indie labels or any labels sniffing around, I would always want to hear what they've got to say. It's 2018. Labels, book publishers, as I'm finding myself, are just distribution. That's pretty much it. They're just distribution now, which in the 90s and 2000s, it wasn't important. It was the only way of doing things. It was imperative. You had to have it. You had to make this. So this had to be made and shipped. And so I was talking to Bruce yesterday about a friend of his who had a book deal, done a publishing deal for a book, and they printed 25,000 copies of the book, and they've sent them out. 25,000. Yeah. Now let me put some numbers onto this. I don't know. People are going to watch this and go, ooh. Let me put numbers on this for a book, right? If you write a book, I don't know about CD, but if you write a book and you go with a publisher, sometimes you'll get a publishing deal of $3,000 to $5,000, £3,000 to £5,000. What's that? A couple of months of you living expensive. 25,000 books, of which each one, the way it's split with a publishing deal is usually less than 20%, 15 to 20%. You're going to get next to nothing for those 25,000 books. Now you do it yourself and you self-publish it with Amazon, for example. They'll do a 70-30 split where you get 70%. Yeah. So if you're getting 70% after they've printed the book, which they do individually, they don't have to print 25,000 and send them off to Waterstones. They just go, no, someone wants a book, print, send. That's just the way it works.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Yeah, so if the book costs £1 to make and you're selling it for a tenner, out of the £9, you get 70% of the £9. So the difference is when you go with a publishing company is they've got the in with the big book companies. So when you walk into an airport and there's books in there, when you walk into Waterstones and there's books in there, they've got the links into it. So it's a different thing. So what you're actually getting is you're getting your name out there. So they're doing the hard work. But you better believe they're taking pretty much everything for doing that. Yeah. A lot of the time, not always. Some publishing companies, if they're watching, will go, well, we don't rip people off. Yeah. But a lot of the times, the publishing industry is a dinosaur, which is why I had a meeting with the publishing company and just was like, I just do this myself. Yeah. If a label comes in for a band, I would always be interested. Not because they can break the band, because you need the band to be working just as hard. Depending on the links, depending on the deal, depending on the distribution from a label, what it is it becomes about a team. If you find an indie label in your area that you just think, these guys get us and we get them, and together we can work as a team and we can get this out, then you're thinking about the second album and the third album and the fourth album. That's smart. Yeah. Because if you're, if for this person that's put this book out and 25,000 copies have gone around the world into Waterstones and into all of these bookshops, she's going to make very little money from it. No problem at all, as long as the third book makes a fortune. Yeah. No problem. If not, problem. She could have done it herself. So what you've got here is distribution, and how much distribution you're going to get. If you're not going to get much distribution, then you might as well do it yourself, because distribution is available now. If Sony come knocking on the door, it's very hard to turn it down, just like a book thing, because you're going to get an HMV, because you're going to get everywhere, because you're going to get on some playlists on Spotify, and the whole thing builds momentum, and there's a good chance then TV and radio will pick it up. Or there's a better chance, there's a better chance that'll happen. So for me, I'm all about making something happen until someone wants to come on board. Nobody's approached me about my channel and said, we want to sponsor it. Yeah. In fact, I'll just keep going until someone, because someone will. Yeah. And at that point, I'll think about it. Nobody's come on board, no big players have come on board and said to me, right, we need to do a collab, or come and do a music industry feature on my channel, or things that will happen in the future. I'm not going looking for that because
Yeah.
it's time consuming and I haven't got the time to go looking for it. What my job is to put out content and help people as much as possible, and in the future those people will recognize that and they will come to me. So for me it's all about they will come to me as opposed to I will go to them. And that way my job is to make things as best as they possibly can be until I hit that tipping point, and then all of a sudden everybody wants a piece of the pie. So if there are decent indie labels that you have a meeting with, great. Have a meeting, have a cup of tea, go and take them for a drink, have a chat with them, see if there's anything on the table. If there is, weigh up. Don't just go to an indie label because you think that that's the answer, because it isn't the answer. What is the answer is going to the right label for you, which will be a team that you can work together. And the same goes for managers, and the same goes for press and PR and live agents. It's about a team of people that work together, that you aren't fighting and you aren't just handing them something, which bands do all the time. They just go, oh, thank God for that label. Poof. You do everything. We just want to be artists.
Yeah, you have to really analyse what you're getting into.
It's the fastest way to fail. As soon as you just say, we've made this great thing, here it is, of course they're going to mess it up. Like, it's just handing the keys to what you've created. There's got to be an artist involvement from somewhere. So it's about finding the right people. But for me, it's about going it yourself until everyone's desperate to be a part of it with you.
Okay, awesome.